Hello, I'm Cliff Bayuga of The Amazing Eight, and you are watching me draw. Have you ever had an uninspired drawing day? Well, I just had one, and I wasted 3 hours. You've heard it said, don't drink and drive. Well, I'm telling you now, don't draw uninspired, because it just doesn't work. I mean, drawing uninspired is like drawing being impaired. It's not good for you. It's not good for anyone. Fortunately, I snapped out of it, but it was touch and go for a while there. What got me out of my funk was screen grabbing off of YouTube this young woman from an old 60s detective show. She, in her various poses, she just had an attitude. And her attitude got me inspired. Not necessarily her look, but just the way she acted. What made it even easier for me to draw and get inspired was her body language. And her body language, the way she tilted her head, the way she held her shoulders, helped greatly with the composition of this particular illustration that I'm doing. One thing I always keep in mind is that I'm drawing a cartoon illustration. This isn't supposed to be realistic, more stylistic. So like the head, I think you might notice it's a little bit too big for the body. The shoulders and the torso are a little bit, they're just not anatomically correct, but it didn't matter to me. I really want this to have a feel as opposed to accuracy. Does that make sense? But that's what I'm shooting for. I am drawing on my iPad with an Apple Pencil, and the software that I'm using is clipstudio, which I appreciate for its line correction feature. Today I'm just using the G Pen brush in clipstudio, and I'll just be varying the stroke width as I go along. I do try to follow the undersketch as accurately as I can when I'm inking, but do you feel the same way as I do, that the sketch always seems to have more life than the inking does? I try to compensate for that by being, we'll say, a little more stylistic with the inking, the thick and thins that I don't do on my sketch. Give it maybe something that's round, give it more of a sharper edge. Something that's sharp, give it kind of more creative, rounder edge. I do try to go a little bit by feel when I start and stop my strokes. I try to make it a little bit, we'll say, dangerous, or I can make a mistake. So I'm taking a chance, which I think when you take chances heightens their creativity. So, and then again, I do cheat on that a little bit. While I'm inking, I actually use different layers as I'm inking. I'll draw the jawline and the chin on two separate layers sometimes. I always draw the hair on a different layer. Using other layers lets me overshoot other lines, and then allows for easy cleanup later. As you can see where I clean up, where the hair and the neck meet. And now step one for me is laying down the flat, basic foundation colors. This particular illustration has some large areas, which makes it easy for me just to outline an area and then fill it in with the bucket tool. So you probably noticed that this is not a tutorial on clipstudio. You're just watching me draw. I actually have a very limited amount of expertise in clipstudio. I have chosen the tools that I want to use to get the look that I want, and that's good enough for me right now. I would like to learn more. In fact, I know I will be learning more. But I guess if it's any encouragement, you can see that you can get good results without really having to be an expert in any of these programs, because they're all basically the same. The big thing is learning how to use the Apple Pencil, the pressure sensitivity, to get the results that you want. So let me know in the comments below if you would like me to do a clipstudio tutorial. I can show you my method, how I use the brushes that I do know how to use, how I decide on color, how I use layers when I do my clipstudio illustrations. I try to keep my methodology as simple as possible, less thinking, more creating, and get her done. So as I wind down this drawing, it's looking pretty much like I wanted it to. It's always nice to see it come together from inspiration to actually creation. So thank you for spending time with me right now. And just to remind you, I will be doing caricature tutorial videos in the future, as well as other watch me draw and draw with me videos. And as usual, have a happy drawing day.